What is good, everyone? It is the Cricket Commish. Welcome back to the Chicago Clubhouse Network. It is good to be back. It is good to be back on a winning streak for us Chicago Bears fans. But hopefully this time we can continue it and get a little payback, get a little revenge for what happened earlier in week to start the season in week one, where we faced off at home against the Vikings. Played a pretty good game for the most part. Had the lead, and then that fourth quarter came along, and just one bad thing led to another. That bear killer, Aaron Jones, showed up, made a clutch touchdown catch, and it was kind of all she wrote from there. Like I said, at that time the Bears were not able to come back. Caleb Williams didn't have that magic in him for that particular game. You can't come back and win them all. But since then, the Bears have been on a pretty good hot streak there. So Caleb has shown us game after game that he can come back if the game's close. He's not really sweating it. He's not worried at all. And don't give him a chance to kind of give the Bears a chance, or give him a chance to pull some last minute heroics because there's a good chance that if the Bears need to get a field goal, he'll get them in field goal range. If the Bears need a touchdown, he'll find a way to usually get him a touchdown more often than not. So at least that's been the story this year, the cardiac Bears. But I don't really see it changing, to be honest, going forward the rest of the season. The schedule is going to get a hell of a lot tougher going forward. A lot more division matchups are coming up. So we got Green Bay coming up twice. We finish off the season with the Detroit game. And then we have teams like Philadelphia and the 49ers and Pittsburgh coming up. And all those guys are going to be fighting for playoff spots, just like we are. But before I get too much further into it, let me go ahead and get the rest of my crew in here. We also have a returning guest to the Clubhouse. You've seen him on the fantasy show with me, talking fantasy sports, and I think even last season he's been on the show when the Vikings, excuse me, the Vikings were playing us. He came on, talked about his team, gave us the good ins and outs, and his thoughts on whether or not J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson, the other J.J., have enough chemistry going forward, to beat the Bears and hopefully not sweep us again this season. The Vikings will be going for back-to-back sweeps, and if you're anything like me, that's the last thing I want to see. But like I said, let me go ahead and get my first member of the Clubhouse, my first co-host in here. He is a guy that's always on level 10. He's always excited. He's always frustrated, and he's always got an opinion, definitely, on the Bears. And he's always on level 10. That's why we call him Amp. Amp, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Clubhouse.
Hey, what's going on, Commish? How you feel?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just had my birthday this past Tuesday, celebrated with some family and whatnot, and it was good. Had a good time.
Happy belated birthday, man. I didn't know that, man. Happy belated birthday. Yeah. A year younger, huh?
More. Yes, a year younger. I'm like Benjamin Buttons. I'm going the opposite way.
Right. There you go. Yeah. Pretty excited about this game, man.
Yeah, my favorite team won, this past Sunday. That they pulled a game out of their ass again. That's kind of, like I said, been the theme this season of last minute, heroics, I should say, if I can pronounce words this morning. But yeah, it just seems like from opposing from last year where we were losing games in the last second, this year we're winning games. So maybe it's the universe kind of evening itself out here.
Yeah. The football gods. The football gods, man. And 18 is evolving into what most of us thought he would be. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely get more into that. Before we really get into it, let's go ahead and get our guest of the week in here. Like I said, you've seen him in the clubhouse before. He is a diehard Vikings fan, and we'll definitely have a bad score prediction, I'm guessing, by the end of the show here. So don't hold that against him, and try and be kind here to the returning guest here, our boy Sandman, fellow Vikings and division
number 18. Gotta love him.
No, I mean,
know
if you
that's
do
not
it,
the 18
yeah, we do.
talking about, but
we.
Yeah, that's unless you're playing fantasy football, you're not really cheering for that number 18.
Hey, I have no beef with Caleb Williams, so I mean, I don't like any quarterback playing against the Vikings, so it really doesn't, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, how are you feeling? Thank you for coming back to the clubhouse. And I mean, what is your thoughts of your team so far? You guys kind of got away with the game on week 1 against us over in Chicago. You thinking that you guys are going to sweep us again this season for back-to-back sweeps?
Well, thanks for having me on first. So at least this way, you can't just kick me off without me saying thank you. It's always great to talk Vikings, Chicago Bears, and all that stuff. And, long as either Minnesota or Chicago is above Green Bay, it's a good year, right? I mean, that is the worst team in our division that I don't like that team at all. But anyway, moving forward, I was really surprised that we got the W against you guys in week 1. Considering how our offensive line has played. Moving forward into all the way up into the current week, our offensive line is still struggling. We have yet to have all 5 starters out on the field at the same time. So, I mean, you guys know in years past how rough it is if you don't have a little bit of an offensive line. It's hard for a quarterback to get rid of the ball in under 2 seconds and have the receivers be open. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be within 1 score of this one, and I think it really is going to come down to the last 4 minutes in the fourth quarter to which team goes ahead, and then I think it'll go from there. As long as J.J. McCarthy doesn't try to force things into Jefferson, I think we'll have a chance. But we're not going to play Chicago and have 3 turnovers and get the W.
Okay. And it seems like both of our teams really do depend and thrive on the defenses getting their turnovers, and for sure, if it doesn't happen, then it's a real struggle for the offense to kind of generate points on their own. Especially, at least I can say for the Bears here, I haven't watched too much of the Vikings and whatnot. I know JJ kind of started the season, got knocked out. Carson Wentz came in, kept you guys afloat. You guys are right below 500 at 4-5, and now in comes back JJ. So what have you thought of his development so far, considering this is kind of his rookie year?
He reminds me of a young Matt Stafford, to be honest. We'll play through the pain, constantly wanting to try to do it, but still trying to constantly get it to the playmakers, and the more I think he relaxes and sees like Naylor or a Thielen or something that's, where the coverage isn't as tight, the better he's going to do. Like last week, he tried to target Jefferson 12 times and we had 2 interceptions on it. Now, one of them was a really deep ball. It's good as a punt, but it's not the point. The point is you're trying to force stuff to happen, and you don't need to force it. And so this year, I mean, I'll be happy if we're, 1 game above 500. I don't think we're mentally strong enough to do anything better than that. We're the 4th most penalized team in the NFL. So it's like, what can you do, right? I mean, if you're not mentally sound, you're shooting yourselves in the foot a lot. So
Yeah, no, very true, very true. Amp, any thoughts on how do you think the Vikings game went week one, and anything you're worried about with this particular game?
Yeah, I was disappointed in week one because I felt like JJ McCartney first game, against the Bears, and I was thinking Dennis Allen defense, and so I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the way he played. I think it was just what he needed. I think the Bears game was just what he needed to give him that confidence. But this game, I don't see that. I don't see that. The Bears lead the league in interceptions. I do see him. I believe he's going to go to JJ quite often, and that should give us some opportunities. And I think it's time to. First of all, I never believed in McCartney as a passing quarterback since he's from Michigan and was tutored under Harbaugh. So I think this game is going to be different. I think it's going to be different than the first game. Yeah, I think some points are going to be scored, but I think also the Bears get a couple of picks from them. Mm-hmm.
Well, I do think for sure the Bears definitely going to need some turnovers, to kind of help our offense put them in better scoring position and whatnot. Our offense, from what I've seen, noticed this year, has just been a little like inconsistent. There's times where we can move the ball, but then it gets bogged down or it gets stale or it doesn't seem to kind of click until the last few minutes when the back's up against the wall. And then all of a sudden, like I said, we've seen lately, Caleb Williams, puts the cape on his back and, comes down and with these game winning drives. But it's something that I don't know that you can kind of depend on week after week. As far as him having to have these last minute, hero time, backyard football type of games and whatnot.
Are
So
those backyard football hero time type games? Are they in? Is the defense in like prevent defense, or they still been coming after him and he's shining?
no, they're still coming after him. I think our offensive line, I think for the most part, has gelled and is pretty good. At least the front three there. Um, Dahlman's kind of calmed down. I know we had some issues with him at the beginning of the year, but it does seem like they're kind of figured out. The center and the quarterback kind of figured each other out and kind of becoming comfortable with one another. Uh, Tooney has been, awesome. No complaints with him. And then even Jonah Jackson, the beginning of the season, he looked a little shaky, but he's really no penalties between that trenches, that main core in the middle. So that's been
And,
awesome to see. But Theo Benedict on the other side, the end, he's kind of been our weak spot. I do think Wright has really kind of turned into a beast.
he has. He has. I was just about to say that, Commission. Like Wright has turned into that first round pick that we
Yeah.
dreamed of, man. Yeah, he's out there having fun, and now that he knows that he can pancake people, he's been doing that. I like that, man. That was a good pick. And
I
I
think
do
in
see that. Go
I think
ahead.
any player in the NFL when they get drafted high, right? They get a lot of, first round, your right tackle, gets in the game, a lot of pressure, a lot of guys are coming at them really, really fast. And, once when they can settle down, you know what? I can block the best defensive ends and they start having fun, then they just continue to excel, right? And, once when they get to that excel part of their game and they understand, they just become an elite tackle. And like your guy is really starting to come now you just start seeing everybody load up on the other eye, on the left side, but
Mm.
that's okay. I mean, at least your right side is protected. You can start swinging sweeps out that direction. And you
Yeah.
know
And that definitely we've been seeing that because our run game has been one of the best so far this season. We've been running the ball really well, you know, whether it be Monangai or Swift, uh, the run schemes have been there and stuff. And that's kind of on the other side of the ball where I think that's where we've been having an issue of stopping the run on our side of the ball as well. So that's why I'm kind of getting worried with that Bear killer, Aaron Jones. He seems to be healthy again. He kind of had a decent game this past week. Whenever it comes to the Bears, he seems to kind of step up to these particular games, whether it be for Minnesota or when he was with them damn cheeseheads. You know, he just seems to thrive when it comes to, playing the Bears. So
Mhm.
hopefully the Bears can kind of keep them in check and the run defense can kind of get figured out. I know even on our secondary has been beat the hell up with no J.J. Johnson, or Jalen Johnson, I should say. Kyler Gordon's back on the IR. No T.J. Edwards this game as well. That's the second consecutive game where he's going to be out. Noah Sewell has been a decent substitute in his place, but he is limited, or he can be taken advantage of in certain aspects of his
He's a
game.
liability. He is a
Yeah,
liability.
he can be. He's not a complete liability where he's trash, but like I said, because he can make some decent plays and kind of be Johnny on the spot in some moments. But then there is moments where he can get beat. He does have some vulnerabilities to his game for sure.
I mean, I think this game really is going to kind of come down on the trenches, right? Your defensive line against our offensive line, and if we can, if the Vikings can win that battle right there, I think your secondary is going to be in trouble. I mean, because from what I've seen from JJ McCarthy, I mean, his passes given time are 85% accurate, 90% accurate, right? I mean, he throws a nice crisp ball. He needs to work on the touch a little bit more because he likes to just like fire the fastball. But if we can get the two-headed monster going with Mason and Jones, it'll be a long day for you
Yeah,
guys. But if
for
you
sure.
guys shut it down early and force us to start passing all the time, and then I think that's when you're going to get your one or two picks in there, and we like to turn the ball over on our side of the, like around our 30-yard line to give you guys help. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. A
For
lot of our
sure.
turnovers are within the 40-yard line. So
I'm liking the Bears. I'm liking the Bears against that D line. With third and rushing, 143 yards a game, and we're second in pass blocking. You know what I'm saying? The O line is overall second in pass blocking. So I'm liking that. And we all know without running the ball, passing is going to be almost impossible. So I like those stats, and that's a heck of a D line Minnesota has. But I want the Bears to take it to them. I was kind of confused last week why Johnson didn't play Menengai more. Why didn't he run him more after coming off a 179 yard game? He got four touches last week, and I'm like, man, you switched them guys up, man. Swift, Menengai. You know what I'm saying? You wear the defense down like that. So that's my only concern right now. I think we can run against them. I think we should use both running backs, and I think we should come out with a victory with this one.
how many yards a game you guys are averaging? Rushing?
Rushing 149.
Yeah, and see where the Vikings are giving up like 93 yards a game on average for rushing.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good battle, and I think if you guys start off with Swift, like the first 3-4 series, and then if you guys switch it up to another back, it'll catch us off guard.
Gotcha.
Because I've seen it like half of the year this year, like people that have two decent backs. When they start with, the first 3-4 series will be their primary back. And then the second guy gets in there and 8 yards, 12 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards. And then all of a sudden in comes the other back, 5 yards, 4 yards, 5. We focus, shut down the back in the beginning. You guys shift it up. And then they start getting big chunks. And then they go back. And then it's, 4.5, 5 yards of carry type thing. And
so
it's very frustrating to watch.
So get them involved in a little bit of slash and dash or thunder lightning, kind of switch up a little combo. information and they get confused a little, or just that's their vulnerability there with the Vikings defense.
Yeah, I mean those two backs are two different style backs. I mean that's the same thing with Jones and Mason. Mason is like a young Adrian Peterson, runs angry, right? Where Jones is not that way. He sees a hole a little bit more and more elusive, and it's a great 1-2 when it works, but
Okay.
it's only worked a
Well,
couple times this year.
well, let's get our other co-host in here. Uh, he is a guy that not only is good behind the kitchen, but he's also good on giving some hot takes over there on TikTok, and he's good at giving us his opinion and breaking down Bears game. So let's welcome him back to the clubhouse. Coach Chef, welcome back. How are you doing this morning?
I'm okay. How's everybody doing out there?
What's good, Chef?
I'm coming in clear,
Doing
right?
good. Good. Yes, you are crystal clear. So this is our guest, Vikings fan, my father-in-law, the
I
Sandman.
remember what's going on.
Yes,
How are you
yes.
doing, sir?
I'm all right. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
So, Coach Chef, we were definitely getting into this game and talking about it and breaking it down. Get into some stats here. Let me see if I can add this as well here. So we were talking about the matchups here, points per game. Pretty even. Looks like we're averaging 26 to Minnesota's 22, and then we're talking about the rushing yards here, 147. Vikings averaging around just over 100 yards. So, how are you feeling about this matchup coming in, and how disappointed were you in the Week 1 matchup results?
Well, of course, we were all disappointed in week one. JJ McCarthy being inexperienced, had not start any, not played a full 60 minutes of the regular season game. But there's always hiccups in something new. The Bears had hiccups, and the Vikings were able to come off of some mistakes made offensively and then defensively. Um, I think this game should be. I think it'd be somewhat different. It just depends. I know Vikings didn't look great versus the Ravens, but then again, like I said last week, the Ravens are going to be all right. They'll be 500 back again. That's why they're a championship contending team. Um, this game is indoors, so I think it benefits obviously both teams, but I think it benefits the Bears a little more. I think we've got a little more speed offensively as a collective, with DJ and is DJ out this week? My
No, he's
everything
playing.
on okay.
No, he's
'Cause I
playing.
know there was okay because I know he's been dealing with some injuries. Um, Swift, Burton, Zacchaeus. I think we have a little more speed. I know, obviously, uh, you know, Jefferson is a problem. I mean, he's a problem for anyone, regardless. I think we were able to pretty much contain him, not stop him. Is that old? What's the saying? You can't stop him.
You
You can
can't
only
stop
hope.
him, only hope to contain him.
Yeah,
Yes.
Seward Scott. Shout out to Seward Scott. R.I.P. But I think the inconsistency of McCarthy and him still not having starts. I was just listening while I was trying to settle my youngest son, who always seems to wake up right before we start this show. um, as I was watching
Perfect
the
timing.
countdown, how the guys were like, Randy Moss and uh, Ryan were saying, why do we have to be patient with a guy because he was a first round pick and he just came off a national championship? You have to be patient with all these guys. I don't get the idea that just because a guy was successful at a level, super successful, that he should come in. That's like the Bears thinking that Caleb should have been gangbusters when he came out just because Jalen Jalen Daniels was. Like, everyone has their own timeline, and if you're just depicting how good a guy's going to be because he started 4 games or he's had 17 games, the real threshold of starting for a quarterback is about 20 or so games. It's about a season and a half worth of actual starts to kind of see the glimmer of either consistency or inconsistency. And we haven't seen that from JJ McCarthy. So I think that he's still a threat. Passing the ball, wasn't known for his throwing acumen in college, only because in today's football, everyone runs the spread offense. Everyone's throwing the ball 25, 30, 35 times a game. And he came from a quote unquote traditional type of offense where they run the ball and they have two tight ends, and it looked more like the game did 20 years ago in college compared to what it looks like now. So that was the knock on him then was, he hasn't thrown enough passes. Well, it used to be the spread guys threw too many passes and they didn't run pro offense. Now it's a mark. So I think I think what we just learned about evaluating quarterbacks is that no matter what level you are, whether you're an actual NFL GM, whether you are Bill Belichick, who I think is a horrible at evaluating talent because he can't even evaluate talent at the college level, that it's going to take time. I think he'll be fine as all overall. I mean, I would like to say I hope he sucks, but the reality is the kid is not a horrible quarterback. I just think that with them getting healthier from the running back position, the team is getting better. It's just, can you get to him? Can you apply pressure and make him throw off platform? Can you not allow him to get and run and get confidence by running out the pocket like they did in the game, the first game of the year on Monday Night Football? I think that was a huge issue, obviously, at the end of the game where he's running for touchdowns to take the lead. So to break down my soliloquy, since I've already missed 20 minutes, I think it'll be another close game because that's what the Bears have had this year. I think it'll be another close game unless something dramatic happens with turnovers and scoring of turnovers, although the Bears have been really good with their red zone offense. So I think it'll be another close game, pretty much saying injuries, not injuries, just because that's what the Bears have done this year. We've only beat two teams by two scores, and that was the Saints,
Cowboys,
and the Cowboys. So it'll be another close game. I think within a score, within 6 to 7 points, maybe 8. So far.
Now, would you guys say for the Bears, I mean, if they have any kind of realistic shot of winning the division, that this is a must-win here for just to beat the Vikings and not be swept there?
They would have
to win the division.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, we still got the one against Detroit to end the season, and then Green Bay's coming up back to back practically.
Right, you have Green Bay. You're already 0-2 in the division. Yeah, you got to split all these teams to have a shot. You got to split with obviously the Detroit and Minnesota, and then you got to sweep Vikings. Green Bay just to have a shot. I'm just being honest. Like that's it's only 3. This ain't the whole division where there's 5 teams. You're not playing Tampa Bay too. So and they're not a cakewalk. They're not a cakewalk anymore. This is a late 8. So yeah.
But the thing is, so far, the Bears have been taking care of business in the NFC. Hasn't been the division, but they've been taking care of business in the NFC. So that's a plus. That's a plus. So now, like Coach Chef just alluded to, all we have to do is win these division games, man. All we have to do is win these division games. I'm not saying that's gonna be easy, but hey. But this is what good teams do. You know what I mean?
The Vikings are going to be 3-0 in the division after today. So
I don't know about that. I won't say that. Yeah, that's cute. Man. That's cute, man. That's cute.
We've done well in Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but hopefully, like so, the last time we beat Minnesota was in 2023. I think it was like November 27th. It looked like so. They are on a 3-game winning streak against us. So hopefully that shit ends today. And
games were close.
Yeah, I mean, division games are always close. I mean, even back when Detroit was going on their 0-16, year, the games against us, and when the games they played within the division were nail biters, like they were scrappy. You know what I mean? It wasn't they weren't just getting their teeth kicked in, like they were against some of the other teams, throughout the year. So no matter how bad a team is in the division, when you play against them, look at the Browns when they play teams in their own division. Those games are usually pretty close. They're not blowouts, and
so every still the NFL.
Yeah,
any given Sunday.
For sure.
Any given Sunday.
It's an Ohio State versus UCLA on primetime TV. Still trying to figure out why that was on primetime with UCLA being horrible. But yeah, this is in college. Sorry. To remind people every week.
Like you were saying earlier, Chef, about
30-point spreads in the NFL.
The quarterbacks, how people are evaluating their first year and stuff like that. So this is McCarthy's 4th or 5th start. and we have to. These players are, to even play at a good college level. Yeah, right. You're at the 0.3% of all the kids in, going from high school into college. And then, when you make it into the pros, you're the 0.001% of the 0.03% of that, so I mean, the whole game is so different. And, we were talking about your right tackle earlier, once when he found his niche and how he got comfortable, and now he's having a great time, right? Caleb Williams is starting to find his niche, starting to feel like, hey, things are going good. I'm not running for my life. I can actually throw the ball or whatever. I mean, last year, he was on his back half the time. I mean, you look at Fields before that, always on his back. So you guys are finally starting to get to that area where your guys are starting to be comfortable, and you can see, hey, we can come back from behind. We can win in the fourth quarter, whatever the case may be. I think I'm not expecting a lot from Minnesota this year. I think we're just going to be a scrappy team, maybe ruin some people's playoffs. But I think in the years to come, like next year, I think McCarthy will be a way better quarterback than he is this year.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Who do you think going into this game has the better quarterback?
If I had to choose, I would choose Williams over McCarthy in this particular game if I could.
Okay.
I think Williams is a more prepared quarterback mentally and does not force the ball as much as McCarthy does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Caleb is definitely known not forcing the ball for turnovers, and with Ben Johnson, I think that if you talk about coaches at the NFL level still make a difference, man. And Ben's been awesome for us so far, and obviously with Caleb getting better, I mean, he escaped a lot of sacks last week versus a very dangerous front four. He'll have the issue with seeing the blitz, but we have the second best combination versus the blitz as far as quarterback to receiver touchdowns in the NFL. And then we'll, being better prepared for this game and understanding, we'll do a lot for Ben. We'll do a lot for the OC, and we'll do a lot for Caleb. And then with JJ, right now, I mean, obviously you wouldn't take him just for the experience part and the reps. But look, like I've been saying, I say it every week here, and I say it in all my update videos on TikTok. Man, we are the best division in the NFL. In this division, you're not going to have a lot of in the future. You're not going to have a lot of teams 2, 3, 4 games under 500. Man, this is going to be what the best division, just like how we consider the Big Ten and the SEC the best divisions in football, because from top to bottom, the top teams are good. The mid teams can upset you, and every blue moon you'll have a Mississippi State or a Vanderbilt who will upset you. Although Vanderbilt's been very, very good the past several years. This is going to be a fight every single year on the top spot. Once McCarthy hits his stride, man, just being honest, just as a football guy, bro, there's not going to be games where where the over under, not the over under, where the point spread is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9 points. Man, all these games are, no matter who's the home team, who's the away, these games are going to be 3, 2, at best 4-point spreads every week. I know we love to talk about how much we hate the Packers. Both of us, everyone hates the Packers. They've been the top of the division so long that everyone hates them, and no one has that same hate for Detroit, because they just been so poor all of our lives, literally all of our lives. The Lions have been the worst team in the division, and now
even the Lions get a lion.
Right. Even the Bears fans are like, oh man, it's so nice just to see a team, you don't feel as bad, but they're still a formidable team. Every coach in this division is a formidable coach, no matter what the Packers do. And although I will lie, we would all agree, if they fire LaFleur, like, that's thank you for firing good coaches. But man, it's going to be tough every year for the foreseeable future. As long as you got these quarterbacks with these head coaches, it's going to be tough every year in the NFC North. It is the best division in the NFL.
So from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you're not expecting going forward in the future years the division champs to be like consecutive division champs year after year, and maybe fluctuating where one year Detroit wins the division, next year it's Minnesota, year after that maybe it's Green Bay, and then like it's just then it's our turn, and then it's literally rotating out whoever wins that division. It's not going to be a back-to-back.
Well, I mean, our division is up for grabs this year. Even though we're 4 and 5, we're very much in it. We're only 2 games behind you. You know, and
I don't see that. I don't see that, Commish. That this year is Minnesota, next year is Detroit, following year is Green Bay, next year is Chicago. I believe one of these teams, like Coach Jeff said, this is one of the best divisions in the league. One of these teams are going to step up and just step out.
Dominate?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think the Vikings are favored 2.5 points. I think this game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the home field advantage there. I think usually the home team and the betting line usually is a 3-point favorite, anyway from a 3-point to 1-point favorite, typically, just because you're the home team. But
shoot, the Bears got 4.5 last week and only won by 4. So
that half a point, definitely means something. Quick shout out to the chat. D-Nice, I want to say thank you for joining us here. He does agree. He says that this division is the best, but it is up for grabs for sure. And he thinks that he thinks we can take the 2 against Green Bay. So that would be awesome. I mean, because I can't remember the last time we swept Green Bay. So that would be I had to pinch myself if that happened.
I would say it hasn't happened in my lifetime, but I was born in the 80s, so I know it has happened. I know it's happened in the 80s. It didn't happen in the 90s. So.
Right. When I was knee high to a duck, that's the last time that shit happened.
Yeah,
I don't even want to talk about it, man. I don't even want to say it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to say it. So I'm looking forward.
Well, you guys, we're talking about the betting line here. So it does look like 2.5 favorites, and then the over under is at 48.5. What do you guys think about that? Do you see it going over, or do you see it going just under that 48.5 mark?
I think. Go ahead, Chef.
I think it could go over, man. We're playing in a dome, so there's no wind affecting anything. No weather, no snow, no frigid temperatures. I think it's possibly the Bears are still top 8. I think they were not top 5 anymore, but we're still averaging roughly 26 points a game. We had a big offensive output versus the Bengals. I know last week was close, although at one point the Bears had like a less than 10% chance of winning. I thought the whole game we were in it to win it the whole game. Honestly, I didn't. You know me, Commissioner. You watched the game with me. You always ask me when do I start panicking? I don't start panicking when the Bears are down until it's under 4 minutes. That's when my heart starts to kind of pump, because it's the NFL, man. Team can score. Offenses can click at any time. You get a couple mistakes here, like the botched punt and the sack strip fumble, and you got a shot. And man, I'm looking forward to coining this phrase. Now you've heard it. You haven't heard it first on this network, but you will hear it for those who don't follow me on TikTok. I'm going to start calling fourth quarter 4th and Caleb. That's Caleb's quarter, man. I don't care what no one says. Saying the kid's not clutch. That kid, that young man, last season had us in field goal range, had us in places to win games, took us to overtime versus the Vikings. In fact, that's why I started my TikTok, because of you. We made a bet about them coming back going to overtime last year versus the Vikings. Last year, when we were at Mouse House, this kid's going to have you in the game. And in the fourth quarter, man, you can say what you want about the first 2 quarters since we haven't played a full 60 minutes. That kid, whether by air or by land, it is going to be 4th and Caleb, which is the fourth quarter, man. The kid, I don't want to hear, he's not. Look, man, go look at the stats. We lost 3 games last year. We lost a game against the Packers. He got us down the field and the coach botched it. He got us down the field versus the Lions. Coach didn't call a timeout. We don't have those coaches anymore. Those won't be issues. You won't be seeing Caleb have a
game. The Washington game, he came back and got ahead. That last game-winning touchdown would have been a game-winning drive had the defense not done what they fucking did.
Huge execution 3 quarters when we played Washington last year. That kid is something else in the fourth quarter, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in order for the Minnesota to win this game, it has to be under 48 points. If you guys hit 26 points, I think you have it. I would say you guys probably have, a 75% chance coming out with a W. If you guys are, 24 or less, I think it's going to be
50-50.
a much better battle. So in order for Minnesota to win, we got to be 48 points or less.
I agree. I don't think Minnesota with this young quarterback is ready for a shootout.
No,
I don't think we're going to put 30 points up on you guys.
Minnesota's offense,
great, but I don't see it happening.
Minnesota offense is ranked 24th, giving up 299 yards a game. Giving up points per game, 24.5, rated 14th on fourth down conversion. So those numbers right there, playing against the number 18, I think we can do that. Those are reachable numbers for the Bears. You know what I mean?
Slightly, but I agree. They're a little skewed only because the points per game in the offense not being really good. Was because of the redhead who's not actually Irish was the backup quarterback who was not I don't believe he's a start. No, he's not a starting caliber quarterback back anymore. But those games where Carson Wentz started, obviously proved. JJ didn't have sorry, not J. Technically, he is a JJ. Justin Jefferson is also a JJ. He didn't have a touchdown for 5 weeks until McCarthy came back 2 weeks ago. So,
yeah. The big difference too in this game as well is week 1 we didn't have to worry about the likes of Jordan Addison. This game he is back, so now we do have that double threat or triple threat, I should say, between Addison, JJ, and Hawkinson, and then even Naylor. If you sleep on him, he will burn you as well. He had himself a good game, I believe, last week or the week before. So,
and Aaron Jones running against that porous, our porous defensive line. It could get bad, man. It could get bad. But I believe in 18. I believe in Caleb Williams. So like Coach Chef was saying, if we're in it in the fourth quarter, I believe we'll win it. You know what I'm saying? But that Aaron Jones running back, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson on their side of the ball, it's gonna be a task. We'll just say a task for our defense, for the Bears defense. Yeah.
Yeah, so if your defensive line doesn't get to McCarthy, it's definitely going to be a day.
Very true, and then that's what I'm kind of liking about this defensive coordinator. These last few games, he's been scheming up good blitzes here to where the guys are getting home. The new addition of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he's stepped in his role very nicely, and had 2 big sacks last week. And he's disguising these blitzes to where these young quarterbacks or these inexperienced quarterbacks aren't really seeing them or noticing them too well. So if he can do that, continue to do that, and definitely get pressure on McCarthy and maybe kind of give him a Sam Darnold moment to where he's seeing ghosts out there and stuff, and hopefully rush the ball.
No damn ghost.
Hey. I heard it out of Sam Darnold himself, so hopefully McCarthy can be a poltergeist and start seeing some ghosts and shit.
Darnold didn't see ghosts last year when he was with Minnesota.
1.8.
What's that?
1.8 per game. J.D. McCarthy in his 4 starts has 7 turnovers. It's almost 2 a game, puts you about 1.8 turnovers per game on average. His youth, he had 2 picks versus the Ravens, who defense has been pretty porous until they got healthy, which kind of fits right around the time they beat us, unfortunately. But hey, they're still a championship caliber team regardless, organization. Turnovers will be key. I think it's kind of boom or bust for the Bears defensively. When I say boom or bust, it's boom or bust regarding turnovers. You can check out the games where we don't get turnovers. We didn't get any turnovers versus the Ravens, although we were slow their running back down. I think it's one of the most conservative games that he had. King Henry, I think 21 carries, 71 yards. Although he did have 2 touchdowns, obviously, but that's big if you're scoring touchdowns. But we didn't allow him to have any big runs. I know we contained the Giants last week. Last week, the Giants at halftime, if you take out the quarterback running the ball on design runs, the running backs for the Giants had literally 2 yards collectively. They were averaging less than a half a yard per carry. They ended the game with 91 collectively. So it goes back to it being a microcosm of where your defense starts with all of the problems that we've had D-line as far as depth and health.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Chef, because Jason Dart is the leading rusher. And I don't know if he hadn't gotten hurt, I don't know how that game would have turned out, man. Honestly,
baby, he had I think Gardner Johnson was. I think if he didn't force the fumble, he was there on that play.
Yes, he's the one that forced the fumble, knocked him out. That's where he got the concussion out of that play. And I thought in the moment too, seeing the replay, that I was surprised that he kind of kept playing right away, because seeing that replay when he hits the ground, like normally players, when they know they fumble, they're scrambling and moving their head, like looking to see where the fuck's that ball. He hit the ground and he kind of like stood frozen there for like a second or two. And that's all it takes as far as like to be correct. He woke up real fast and whatnot, but just that split second or two, I was just like, he looked like he was like knocked out, because he had no instincts at all to try and look for the ball. He was night.
Yeah, and the ball was sitting right next to him. So that's how I knew. That's how I knew. Like, he's concussed. And you never want to see that. First of all, you never want to see that, man. You never want to see any player get hurt, in any form or fashion. But when he left that game, and Russell Wilson came in, I was like, oh, we won this. we have this one. Because Russ
wasn't there.
Yeah, it was. It was.
So before Chef came online, we were talking about McCarthy and throwing the ball and trying to force it. Like last week, he was like 12 targets to Jefferson, right? And we had 2 picks going to Jefferson, right? I mean, one of them was like almost like a punt, but the other one was just a bad throw. And we're talking about point swings on turnovers. With the Ravens, the big turnover when they kicked off to us and we fumbled it on our own 20-yard line on the kick return, right? It was the huge swing, right? They got 13 points off of turnovers. And, it's like like I was telling before you came on, if the Bears can generate a couple turnovers against us, it's going to be more of a field day for Chicago. But if they can't, and we start controlling the line of scrimmage and stuff like that, I think it's going to be a long day for Chicago.
I don't disagree. We are very turnover like that turnover deficient. If we don't get turnovers, we're not successful as a team as of yet. Even with giving up yardage, I think the big outburst, that's what the Bears, people forget the Bears have given up over 200 yards. I think 200 yards scoring points. We have that big outburst by Detroit and the big outburst, the big high scoring game back and forth with the Bengals. The Bears are not as successful. They're top 3 in the league in turnovers. At one point, we were the first team. We were caused the most turnovers in the NFL. If we don't get turnovers, we're going to play behind the 8 ball. That's going to be an issue if we can't get turnovers. We didn't get any turnovers. Versus, like I said, our last loss was against the Ravens, and you saw how that turned out. We couldn't get turnovers. We got turnovers last week. Turnovers came in fumbles and 4th down turnovers. With that, so that doesn't count as a turnover as far as the interception, fumble type turnover. But when a team goes for it on 4th down and they fail, that's considered a turnover on downs. So if we don't get turnovers in some shape or fashion, I'm not talking about just one turnover at the end of the half, a sloppy play. I mean a legitimate interception, fumble type. We're going to have issues stopping this team because the Bears.
Do you think Caleb plays differently when he sees the defense generating turnovers? Do you think he's in a more of a relaxed mindset where he can play better and he's not have to our defense isn't keeping us in it?
I think every quarterback I don't want to take too
Everyone
much.
does. Yeah.
I think every quarterback feels better when you don't feel like you have to go out there and score every single drive, or after a long winding drive from another team that might, you know, even a 12, even a 12, a 12 play 4 minute drive that ends in a field goal is a plus, but it's also a negative because your defense has been on the field for 4 minutes. So then the offense feels inherently not like, oh, we got to be out there, we got to be out there, but the ability of wanting to give your defense a rest by running the ball is key. Ben, as Amp said earlier, we were surprised that Ben Johnson didn't run the ball. He came out passing the ball versus the Giants, and the Giants were the worst team versus the run. Now we still had a 171. I predicted 180. But 171 as a team, Swift almost had 100. Had 80 yards on less than 15 carries. Monangai had a very minuscule game. Hope to see him more. I think the two-headed monster with those guys is going to be big for us. Swift is still the starter regardless. When he's out there since week four or five, including especially after the bye week, Swift has been putting up yards left and right. So, but using both of them and getting them both active. Now, in a close game, it's going to be hard to run the ball because, you're trying to come back. Remember, the Bears were in comeback mode versus the Giants. So you're going to throw the ball a little more, especially when the time gets short. But if we can maintain running the ball and play action like we want to do, like Ben wants to do specifically, he says it in his interviews every week. The run game is upon him. Essentially, he's the play caller. But Declan Doyle is responsible for the passing plays. He specifically said he focuses on the run every week. So, and then he has regret every week. And somebody asked him, every week you say you wish you didn't call that call. Why do you say that? It's his transparency in saying, as the play caller, you're never happy with any game where you have bad plays that are either because of the defense, calling the right defensive call, or plays that are not successful. And when you have a play call based on your game plan and the defense is right on it, it's going to make you feel like, damn, should I really have called that? So the fact that he's transparent about saying, hey, look, there are plays that every week that I think that I could have done something better shows that the transparency that he wants to do better. But like I say every week also, like I said, Cricket, you say it every time we watch a game together. Every down when it's a bad play isn't the end of the world. I know our boy Easy, he lives and dies on every single play. A sack in the first quarter with 12 minutes left in the game makes Easy feel like, oh, we're the worst team in the world. We suck. Like,
this offensive line's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. Right.
What are we doing?
It's still football, man. It's 60 minutes. Teams are going to have bad plays, good plays. You're not going to.
Those other players on the other side of the ball are good too. You know what I mean? They get paid as well.
Once again, this isn't Ohio State versus UCLA. Okay, they're not going to steamroll them. But just keeping in mind that you obviously want to see more consistency out of the team that you root for. I still say it. Ben said it in playoff. I don't believe we've seen a full 60-minute game where offense, defense, and special teams is excellent. You're going to have some plays where you get a sack or a negative run, but you haven't seen 60 minutes where you feel like, even the Cowboy game, that wasn't a full 60 minutes of excellence. That was close, but it wasn't a full 60 minutes. You were like, hey, your team that you root for comes out and there's a better team for the entire game. They have been for 2 games, but you still didn't feel like it was a full 60 minutes of dominance. So still looking forward to that. But I do think this game's going to be close. I think it'll be less close if we get turnovers. But if we're going into the fourth quarter and it's a close game and you haven't caused a fumble or an interception, then it's going to make you Crooked. It's going to make Amp. It's going to make Easy. It's even going to make you Sandman. It's going to make as I say, as the game gets close. As the game gets tight, sometimes booty holes get tight too. Everybody starts clenching up. All these plays. I don't know what to do. What's wrong, babe? What's wrong? Why you sitting so funny? I'm a booty hole type. We ain't gonna tell her that, but that's what happened.
You know what? I think the Bears are gonna be okay, man. If they rush the ball, if they just rush the ball, come out running the ball. The O line ranks second in pass blocking. So that's a good thing. My only concern is special teams. First of all, let me go back. Like, I am a Dennis Allen fan, man. I love him as a coach. I think right now he doesn't have what he needs to run his defense. The Bears defense is decent, but the players on there, Dennis Allen doesn't have the players he needs to run his defense. So I preface that by saying that. But we have to run the ball. We have to run the ball against them. Passing yard, we average 242. Number 18 got to do better than that to beat Minnesota. And also, this is the one. Special teams, man. Special teams. I'm calling for Hightower head. So I'm expecting him not to be here next year. Special teams sucks, and I mean, come on, man. An onside
been
kick.
an issue all year
So
for
the
An onside kick. Teams are starting at our own 40. You know what I'm saying? It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. So yeah. That
So-
Bears can win this game. But special
based on
teams.
stats,
Mhm.
Chicago should win the game. But
Yeah.
I don't think, like the commish noted 20 minutes ago, I don't think it has anything to do with stats this game. It's the NFC North, right? I mean,
black and blue.
it is. And I think it's going to come down to a couple big plays, takeaways, or whatever the case may be, is where the momentum's going to swing. And, you say your special team sucks. Our kick return is one of the best in the NFL. So, I mean, those type of scenarios is going to be really, really good. But he fumbled last week. So, I mean, Pace is a great returner, but, who knows? It's going to come down to the last 4 minutes of the game.
So my point.
Go ahead.
My point is this, man. Johnson showed it last week. Like on fourth downs, he didn't want to go for the field goal. He said because the wind was in Santos' face. I get that, but I don't, because in Soldiers Field the wind swirls. It swirls. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So was Johnson trying to hide Santos, or was he really concerned about the wind in his face? Because me personally, I'm thinking like any kicker on the Bears, they got to be able to kick in Soldiers Field, man. And that's not just the wind is going south, or the wind is blowing north, east, or west. That wind swirls. The way that stadium is built, it swirls in there. So let's see what he does. Let's see what he does indoors.
I think last week
Santos kicking indoors. Mm-hmm.
I think last week they were actually concerned about the wind, from what they were talking about in the pregame stuff, the warm-up kicks for both. Because if you notice, it wasn't just the Bears, like the Giants, they were going for it on fourth down a lot as well. If it was like,
but the Giants,
field goal,
the Giants kickers on IR also. That was Cool was on that practice squad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ex Falcons kicker and whatnot. But the point being, if it was a 30-yard field goal or longer for either team, neither team was kicking it. I think they were really concerned about how windy it was. Usually with Santos, it's never really a question of his accuracy within 40 yards or whatever. It's how big his leg is, typically. But I do feel your point with the special teams issues for sure. Coach Chef, I know you're dying to jump in.
We did this. We do this every week. I do this in all the fan groups. Ding, ding. We do this every week. We did it on Tuesday. I was able to catch the show last Tuesday at the end of my work day and chime in. Look, I get it. Cairo Santos is not the biggest. He doesn't have all the fans in Chicago. And now we've got fans out here hoping that Jake Moody, a guy whose career 75% kicking, is the answer. We want to get rid of Richard Hightower, which may be a thing because it's not the kicking game Really, it's more the return game and the kickoff coverage. But let me be very clear, because I couldn't be clear Tuesday because my comments are limited on the show that I can't talk on the Tuesday show. And I love those guys because I know JB was like, are we talking about kickers right now? Look, Cairo Santos has missed 10 extra points in 5 years. That's 2 a game. He is literally one of the most accurate kickers in the past 5 years. And the only deficit for Cairo Santos is the fact that he can't kick 60-yard field goals. So what fans keep talking about is we should just drop him or send him to the practice squad and keep Jake Moody because we only have one more. Jake Moody can only be elevated from the practice squad one more game before he either has to be cut or has to be signed to the permanent 53-man roster. Let me remind people, Jake Moody also missed a 40-yard field goal. Yes, he had the game where he kicked the most field goals for a Bears kicker in the debut, but his field goal he missed wasn't a 50-yard field goal. It was under 40 yards. Excuse me, it was in 40 yards. And the consistency of kicking is what you want. So if you want to get rid of Cairo Santos midseason to add Jake Moody because he has a bigger leg, then we're going to say, hey, let's give up the accuracy all over the field for a guy who can kick 65-yard field goals. Well, I would like to ask how many 65-yard field goals have been kicked this season? There's only been 168, and it's been a couple 60s, and there's only one kicker who consistently kicks from 60, and that guy plays indoors with the Cowboys. If you think Cairo Santos is a problem with only 3 missed field goals this year, you really need to do better research. Stop the kicker debate. Stop the kicker debate. I'm not done. Stop the kicker debate. I'm going to say this one last time, and you can say whatever you're going to say, and I'll just put myself on mute. I don't want to hear any more damn talk about the kicker. Cairo Santos is the kicker. He will be the kicker the remainder of the year. I can put $100 on it right now. I can put $1,000 on it right now. I can put $1.50 in a car that I don't own right now. As my voice cries. He will finish the season as the kicker unless there's an injury. Jake Moody will not be the starting kicker for the Bears in the 2025-26 season this season. Stop it.
First of all, why are you yelling? First of all,
this man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever.
First of all, why are you yelling? My point was this. Santos must go. Let me finish. I didn't say he must go this year. I don't expect him to bring Moody off the practice squad. I expect there to be some competition next year. You said he must go this year. I never said that. I said it has to change. It has all that yelling you were doing, man, all that screaming and talking about Santos is going to be the kicker. Of course he's going to be the kicker. We're going into the, 11th week? Of course he's going to be the kicker. I said next year, Hightower job is in jeopardy as well as Santos. And I believe that they'll bring somebody in. Well, definitely going to bring in a special teams coach. And Santos is going to have competition. That's what I said, without yelling.
Vikings don't have that problem.
Well, good for you. God damn it.
Once again,
we have other problems.
This is about everyone. This is about every time I hear about Santos from fans. Stop it. Stop it.
Everyone has an opinion.
We know the
everyone has an opinion.
We just got to bring up.
Right. I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
That's Coach
I don't know
right
if you've
there.
ever Hey, I don't know if you've seen Belly. You know what happened to that guy. That guy did not end well in that movie. That guy died. He didn't like that shit at all, and he died. So let's be clear. That guy got.
He got. Yeah, I was just going to say, he got.
My point in saying all of that is I get it. The Bears fans, we all want a kicker who can kick 65-yard field goals. But guess what? That's
what
will be the starter for the remainder of this. I can't reiterate that anymore in any group chat.
Yeah.
He's 3 field goals this whole season. I'm actually about to go. You know what? That's okay. All I got to say is wish and pray all you want. Cairo Santos must go. Yeah, he must go. If he goes, it won't be this year. So y'all can talk about it all you want.
Right.
I don't want to hear any talk when Cairo makes a field goal to win a game the remainder of the season. I don't want to hear no. But he made the field goal. But no, he made it. Let's stop it. Jake Moody's not the starter. He's not the better kicker right now. He's not. That's a fact. It's bona fide. That's why he was released.
No, nobody said this year. You're the
No,
one.
no.
You're the one yelling. You're the one
I
yelling.
don't know. I don't know if
No one said this
on
year.
the other videos. Do you watch any other YouTube videos or any people complain about Cairo Santos every week? It comes up on every show.
Yeah, not necessarily talking about you specifically calling for replacement right now and there.
I'm talking to all the Bears fans.
Bears fan base.
People.
Yeah.
All of you beautiful people. You can hope and pray. You know what I want? You know what I want? I would like to. Never mind. It's not about what you want. It's about what is. Sometimes.
I want to get into score predictions. How about that? Let's get into some score predictions. We're coming up towards the end of the show. So, Sandman, you're the guest of the clubhouse here. Unmute yourself and let us know, who do you think is going to win this game here between the Bears and the Vikings?
24-20 Minnesota.
24-20. God, that's Minnesota. That's terrible. Terrible score prediction. I like that one guy said. I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all. So, go ahead, Amp. What do you guys? What do you think the score prediction?
With a Santos missed kick.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Come on now, yeah. Come on.
I like that. I like that.
I got
clever guy.
I got
I like when he says 24-20 with the Santos missed kick. We're gonna go for a field goal to lose by one. Still, I like that. No,
I didn't say when he was gonna miss the kick. I just said he's gonna miss a kick.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Amp. Sorry.
I got 28-21 Bears.
28-21 Bears. Okay. Coach Chef.
Well, that was 49, so that's above the 48 that cut the over-under.
Yeah, man. You said 24-20?
Yes.
24-20 Vikings. All right. Man, our picks have been pretty dramatic the past few weeks. I know me and Kamish have had some double-digit victories the past couple weeks. I think we predicted something crazy versus the Ravens. What did we predict versus the Ravens? You predicted 31-17. I predicted 34-20. And then versus the Vikings, not the Vikings, the Giants last week. What was the prediction last week versus?
I was close. I said 20 to. I said 27-20, and it ended up being 20-24. So I was close. I was off by 3. I got Giants score down.
I got to retally all those score predictions. I keep writing on different sheets of paper.
I still would have lost because I went over, just like in The Price is Right. You can't go over.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a tighter game. I'm going to say the Bears are going to score 30. Every time I've done that, they haven't scored 30. That's why I'm really bad at this. I don't know if I'm much better off gotten in the past 5 years of doing podcasts. I'm going to go 27-23 Bears. Yeah, 27-23 Bears.
All right. I think, like you said, it would be a close one here as well. I see unfortunately, a nail biter type of a game, but I do see a 23-21 Bears win. The last second field goal by Santos. There you go. And then I can come on next week and be like, I told you. I never had a fucking doubt. That guy has always been my kicker.
Hey, Kamish, you said 23-27 Bears?
No, 23-21 Bears. And then I'll even show up with the Santos football jersey, next week against that. Made even.
You could probably get one for like $19.99 on Amazon.
Oh Lord, I love you.
Right.
Buddy.
Maybe I won't do a jersey. Maybe I'll just do a player shirt. The shirt with the number.
If that happens, no, seriously, you got to make a TikTok. If that happens with some sunglasses, and you got to come on, we got to do a skit like you are Terrell Owens. It's my kicker. If he kicks the game winner, you got to have the sunglasses and you got to do. You're talking about my kicker back there.
Yeah.
You got to use the green screen with the Bears logo in the back, and you got to act like this is a practice office. You have to go word for word for Terrell Owens, but you have to replace quarterback with kicker.
I'll even do you one better. I'm going to put some Visine drops in my eyes, so it looks like I got the leaking. Like, come on, guys, that's my kicker. We got to stick behind him. Come on now.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're coming up to the show. I'd say, like I said, any final thoughts before we say goodbye to everyone here at the clubhouse and send them on the way so we can get ready for this Bears game coming up here in about, under 50 minutes now?
All right. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for you guys. Crooked Commish, Coach Chef, our guest here. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And as always, bear down.
Smoking crack right there, that guy. 35-0.
Chris Kelly, that'd be man, we're going to be drinking hard if ends up being the score there.
If the Bears can shut out the Vikings at home, bro, that would be unworldly.
That would be quite impressive. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I ain't gonna cut shit out of that because I don't want to jinx it, but I'll just let it go.
When was the last time the Bears had a shutout? Not a blowout, like a shutout. I gotta research that. I've done bad research.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's a long time.
All my notes, I haven't done a whole lot.
A few years.
It's
been a minute. It's been a minute.
Chris says he's a dreamer. Yeah, I don't want you to wake up from that one then. Yeah, we'll just let you stay comatose in that dream where the Bears, kicking the Vikings' teeth in and 35-0 victory there. Hopefully Caleb has all 5 of those touchdowns. That would be awesome too. So, well, anyways, guys, James, thank you for joining us and coming back to the clubhouse talking Vikings football. We really do appreciate the time that you gave us here. So much appreciated, much love. And hopefully the Bears can even up this matchup here and go 1-1, but we'll see.
According to Google, November 18th, 2010 against the Dolphins.
Exactly. 2010.
Yeah.
So
just before we close this out, I'm sorry, since you found it, what were you all doing in 2010? I don't even know what I was doing for that game in 2010. What were we doing in 2010?
I was just moving. I probably was about a year and a half moving into Phoenix from Tucson.
I was
I was getting my business up and running in 2010.
What'd you say, Sam, man?
I was in Iraq.
Whew, Lord. Good Lord.
I think I was just starting to, I was meeting up with my wife and kind of starting to meet up with my wife and date more seriously, I believe. So I believe.
In 2010, I was still playing semi-pro football because I had still youthful vigor and speed. And I was, what's the date again?
November 18th.
I was working as a teacher's aide at Rich South High School. I was working at a high school as a teacher's aide. I was the ripe old age of 20, I don't know, I was in my early 20s, early to mid 20s. Right? Yeah. Because it was 20, that was 15 years ago.
Those were the good old days. Good old days. So
I could still run in that muscle.
Going back to 1990, the Bears have had 9 shutouts.
Since the 90s until this point, 9 shutouts.
Man, it's hard.
They actually got
so
more
due.
shutouts in the 80s than they did since the last 30 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway, you guys all have a great Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before then.
Absolutely. And James, like I said, this is for you here.
Hey, come back.
I will.
Come back to the clubhouse. We do appreciate it. So everyone else out there in the world as well, please come back to check us out every Sunday, every pregame show, 2 hours before every Bears game. We like to do the pre-game report, not pregame show, pregame report. Coach Chef makes sure corrects me all the time. So like I said, we really do appreciate all the love and support you guys give us. We're trying to get to 1,400 subscribers by the end of the year. We are about 25 or so away, so we're nearly there. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do us a solid. And like Coach Chef says, HBO special, help a brother out. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Go ahead and thumbs up. Yeah, you won't get a hidden bill. You won't get a bill from us in the mail all of a sudden say, hey, you're a subscriber now. Please donate another $5. Yeah, you won't get that. All free. So
that's right.
But guys, enjoy your Sunday out there. Be safe out there. Be good out there. But if you can't be good, well, damn it, at least be good at it.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
No claws. Bear down. No claws.
Go Vikes.
No.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
Hey, man, I only give them the claw when we win. You got to watch my TikTok. They only get the claw when we win.
No.
Commish, you been there.
No.
You been here.
No.
You been there.
I've been there.
We only get the claw if they win.
No.
They only get.
And now